Oh, your cerebellum.
Your frontal lobe is a little small.
It is small. Grandma.
Boker Tov, everyone. We have such a special event to gather here this morning to celebrate Noah becoming a Bat Mitzvah. We're so happy to be with her family and Noah on this very special day. So at her house, we have some really special people. We have Noah, we have your parents, Yuda and Sarah. We have your brother Itai, who also had his bar mitzvah at CRC not that long ago. We have your grandparents, Granddad the second and Grandma. And we have your great-grandmother, Mama. So we have all these special people surrounding you today. And we also have so many special people watching from afar, which reminded me of this midrash that I wanted to share with you about all the places that you can pray. So it says, when you pray, pray in the synagogue in your city. But if you can't pray in the synagogue, pray in an open field. And if you can't pray in your field, pray in your house. If you can't pray in your house, pray from your bed. And if you can't pray aloud from your bed, commune with your heart. So we have people all over that are joining us this morning as you become a Bat Mitzvah Noah. We have family from Israel. We have your Saba and Safta, Doda Irit, Dod Eyal, and your cousins Asaf and Hadar. We have friends from all over Chicago, all sorts of countries, and we're all here wherever we are to celebrate you and to celebrate this special day for you. So we begin this morning. If you want to follow along, you can find Noah's beautiful Siddur that she created on centralreform.org. If you go to that, you can go to live stream and you'll see where Noah's Siddur is. We will also be putting up the prayers on the screen, so don't feel like you have to go anywhere to follow along. But we begin this morning with gratitude, so much gratitude for Noah becoming a Bat Mitzvah and being surrounded by her family and friends in her home and from afar. We begin with Moda Ani. So we continue with the giving of the talis. So Noah, I'd like to invite up onto the screen Bandad II, who is your grandfather, your mom's dad. And this talis belonged to your great-grandfather, right?
Bandad
Bandad
it belongs to Bandad the first.
And I believe your great-grandmother that's there, this was her dad?
Yeah. Her husband's bar mitzvah talis.
Oh, so what a special talis. So I'm going to let your grandfather take over and present it to you. Noah, if you'll say the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yeshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen. Perfect. So we hope that you feel wrapped in love and tradition as we continue your service with the words of Matovil. So we are towards the bottom of page 2 with Birchot HaShachar, these blessings that are meant to remind us of even more things to be grateful for on this morning. So Noah, when you're ready.
Please chant together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzalmo. Blessed are you, eternal Lord God, who has created me in your image. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'chorim. Blessed are you, eternal Lord God, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael. Blessed are you, eternal Lord God, who has made me Israel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokeach ivrim. Blessed are you, eternal Lord God, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim. Blessed are you, eternal Lord God, who provides clothes for the needy. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam potein layev koach. Blessed are you, eternal Lord God, who gives strength to the weak. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher chen mitzadei kaver. Blessed are you, eternal Lord God, who guides the steps of human beings.
So we turn the page as we move out of our morning blessings. Hopefully we are all awake. And that is separated by the Chatzi Kaddish, which is on page 4.
Yikadal v'yikadash shmei rabba Lama tiberech v'kutei v'yamich mochutei V'chayecho v'yamecho v'chayecho v'et Yisrael Ba'gala ba'gala v'yizman kariv V'yimru amen Yehi shmei rabba mevorach Le'olam olam le'olam hayah Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yitchabach, ויתפאר ויתרומן ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי קדושה לעולם בכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירה ביומה וימרו Amen. It isn't where you came from, it's where you're going that counts. Please rise as we call each other to prayer with the bar food.
No, I won't. I'll sit. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed.
How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. Your biggest commitment must always be to yourself. Friends and enemies alike, we are all connected. Please join me in,
There you go.
please join me in chanting the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please be seated.
So we are at the top of page 8 with the Ve'al Havta. Noah and I got to study together when she was in 6th grade, which was really special. And I remember how hard some of these prayers are. And Noah, you are awesome. You put so much heart and energy into the service and into becoming a Bat Mitzvah. And I'm reminded of that with the Ve'al Havta, because the Ve'al Havta is all about values and taking our values out into the world. And I know that as a Bat Mitzvah, you will continue to take your values and those of your families out into our world to make it a better place. So we continue with the Ve'al Havta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וכתבתם לעיון על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם Together, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these words which I command you this day. Teach them diligently to your children. Speak of them when you are at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you arise. Bind them as a sign in your hand and let them serve as symbols between your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Remember to do all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am your God who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your God. I know we are a people who have crossed many seas. In every service, we remember that the price of freedom is often great as we sing the same words their ancestors sang after crossing from slavery to freedom at the shores of another sea.
So we take a moment after the Shema and its blessings, after that inward-looking time where we look at the gap between the people we have been and the people we are called to become, to remember having been slaves in the land of Egypt, having been an enslaved people, and thinking about how that obligates us. 36 times, more than any other commandment in the Torah, we are told some variation on "we shall not oppress, for we were oppressed." And so before we begin the Amidah, before we begin that political piece, that piece about the gap between the world as it is and the world as we are obliged to make it, first we have Mi Chamocha. First we have that remembrance of where we came from and how that obligates us in the world.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha medabakodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha medabakodesh. Nora tehilot oseh feleh. Nora tehilot oseh feleh. Siyaham bakuken yen cuencos, 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 siyaham bakuken yen cuencos. We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching. We are marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching. We are marching. We are marching in the light of God. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha medabakodesh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha medabakodesh.
Please rise.
Sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha havaya. Sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Ya da 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 ya ya prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Shabbat Shalom, CRC. I miss you and I love you to life.
We're at the top of page 12 with the Avot V'Imahot as we recall all those generations that came before us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu.
Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, El HaGadol, HaGibor, HaNorah, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Bekonei HaKol, Bezocher Hastei Avot V'Imahot, Me'li Ge'ulah, V'Ibneihem, L'ma'al Shemo V'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, King Abraham, Bizrat Sarah. Together. Praise be the God of our ancestors, the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, of Sarah, of Rebekah, of Leah, and of Rachel. Praise be the source of strength and courage, the source of kindness and good deeds. Praise be the source of gentleness and love, of softness and kind words. Praise be the person who transcends strength through gentleness. Praise be the person who perfects gentleness through strength. Praise be the person who acts according to the best that is within. Praise be the person who reaches out to touch the best in others. Praise be the gentle faithfulness of Abraham and the valiant strength of Sarah. Praise be the God who infused humanity with divine potential.
Whenever you're ready, Noah.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, Umatir Asurim, Unkayem and Unhato, Bishene Afar, Michamo Chawal Yiburot, Umidum Melach, Melech Levitum Chaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Umenam Talia Hayam, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechaye Ha'am. Our souls yearn for connection with all souls.
There's a folk custom that goes along with the Kedusha, that every time we say this word kadosh, holy, that we raise up just a little higher each time. It's a folk custom. In fact, there were ancient rabbis that tried to get rid of it. But it's an idea that I think speaks to the core of what it means to be a part of this people, which is that every day we are trying to raise ourselves and our world and our community up another level. Every day we are trying to do the work of tikkun, the work of making this world a more holy place.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וכרזה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר, שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ונצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. Silent gratitude isn't very much use to anyone. When the whole world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful.
בספר חיים, ספר חיים, ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה. בספר חיים, בספר חיים, ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה. נזכר ונכתב לפניך, לפניך remember us and inscribe us. Nizachev v'niketiv lefanecha, lefanecha. אנחנו בכל עמך בית ישראל, לחיים טובים ולשלום, for goodness and for peace. בספר חיים, בספר חיים, ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה.
So, at the end of Tefillah, we take a few moments for silent prayer. Noah, you know, these quotes you picked are just amazing. And I don't know if you did it on purpose, but they're all women, I've noticed, including yourself. Feel free to look at what Noah has provided for the silent meditation, or look back over all these beautiful quotes she has chosen as we pause for a minute for the prayer of our hearts.
Soaking it all in, Noah. A wonderful, what a great treat to have a Monday morning service, and especially led by you. We'll talk about that more in a moment, but first I want to ask Rabbi Susan to appear from her home to lead you in this ritual of passing the Torah Lador Vador, from generation to generation.
Well, you are already feeling, I hope, the depth of this moment, but also the lift of this moment at this time when things seem to be crumbling around us and making us reinvent ourselves and try to find different ways to connect. You are connecting people all over the world, and also right there in your home. And so it's a privilege to pass the Torah from this time generation to generation to generation to generation. What a blessing to have 4 generations standing with you. And I know that your Saba and Safta in Israel are watching along with your aunt and uncle and your cousins Asaf and Hadar. I'm sure there are more people in Israel that are kind of holding you in their hearts as well. Well, I love all the women quotes, of course, as Rabbi Karen said, but I also love your name, Noah. Noah, one of the 5 daughters of Zlofchad. You know that these daughters, they teach us what leadership is all about, because when they saw an injustice, they didn't use violence. They used their words. They gathered together, and it's amazing that we know their names, these 5 daughters of this man Zlofchad, who passed on, and because he passed on and he left no sons, Moses was going to pass him over. Imagine that. And so these 5 daughters, including Noah, gathered together and tried to figure out a way to have justice be done. And they gently and lovingly went to Moses and said, Moses, hey, what about us? And Moses was forced. Whoops. I don't know if I'm still. Moses was forced to reconsider and go to God. And God said, well, of course, give them their due. So thanks to the very first Noah, we are able to stand here today, knowing that the arc of justice may be long, but it does bend, right? It bends towards inclusivity. It bends towards doing the right thing. So as you take your place along the long line of people who have embraced Torah, we ask you to continue this tradition of adding your voice to Torah. So it's a privilege to invite your mom, your great-grandmother, to come and join you with your grandparents who are present, Wanda, Grandma. The old Savta in this line, of course. You have received much Torah from them, I'm sure. Your parents and your big brother. There's we've got the parents, and we've got Mom, the great-grandmother, who begins with the Torah in her arm. Mom, what a privilege to have you with us, to be able to stand first in this long line. And so from great-grandmother, grandfather, Dad the second, to your grandmother, to your father, mother up there.
Just so
There we go.
Yeah, and somebody help.
Thank you, Mama. How many times in the history of CRC that women have come to me and said that was the very first time I ever held the Torah. So, women for generations, women and men, and all others. Itai, before you hand that Torah over, I promise you that we will have a confirmation. I promise. I'm not sure when it's going to be, but I promise we will get confirmed too, and we'll have the whole family from Israel, I hope, zooming in as well. We'll think about the timing to make sure that Israel's family gets to zoom in. And now give this Torah that you held to your sister so that she can receive it and be ready, standing on so many generations of people who have embraced Torah to lead us in the words of the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Elohim Adonai Echad Gadol Adonenu Gadol Shemo.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rabbi Susan. Thank you, family, everyone. You have their seat. Actually, if your mom wants to help you uncover the Torah, Noah, that would be wonderful. And this is our traveling Torah. It's been traveling a lot, right, Noah? I think I brought it to you and took it from you and brought it to you again like multiple times in the last couple of weeks. But now you have it, so you can find your spot. Make sure you got your spot. And you see it, Noah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So if you feel like you need someone to hold, is it staying in place? Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we got a yad. All right. So everyone can have a seat. So I'll call you up when it's time to make the aliyah. So Noah, how you doing? You are doing great. Actually, I can answer that question myself because I've been watching the service, obviously, and you are so poised there in your wonderful home. I feel like really we are all there with you, and we are there with you. And it's just really a pleasure and an honor to be part of this moment that you become Bat Mitzvah with you. And I was talking about the fact that we're having a Monday service. And I know we wanted to have you originally had a Havdalah, but we wanted to make sure that your family from Israel could watch live once we knew we weren't going to be in person. We were going to be online. But also, there's a tradition of reading Torah on Monday. So, in a traditional synagogue, in a Orthodox synagogue, and many conservative synagogues, Torah reading happens on Saturday, of course, Shabbat, and Thursday and Monday. So it's because that those were the days, in ancient days, that everybody gathered in Jerusalem for market. And so you wanted to hear the words of Torah when they were being, when people were around, just like we do now. That's why, the time at CRC when people are around is Shabbat. So that's when we read Torah. But Monday is a perfectly appropriate time to hear Torah. And it's a holiday, an American holiday. I call it a holy day. It's Labor Day, which not only means that it's a day off for work and school, but it means we just remember that it's really important. And I know your family knows this, to honor workers and to support workers and to make sure that everybody's work is valued. So this is a really, really amazing time in history, of course, with everything we're having to do to keep each other safe and stay at home as much as possible. But also, it's really a time on the Hebrew calendar and our American calendar that our hearts are open to what you're about to do, which is become Bat Mitzvah through chanting Torah and Haftorah and giving your teaching, which I know will be part of this great weekend and all of this holiness that surrounds you. So also, we're really close to the high holidays, right? Just less than 2 weeks till Rosh Hashanah, Rabbi Daniel sang a song about the Sefer Chaim, about the Book of Life. And so you, in doing what you're doing today, are helping us prepare for, the days of awe. And so we're in awe of you, Noah. And I've known you forever, so the fact that you are standing here, a teenager, and ready to jump into the next chapter of your life is astounding to me. And I know it is, of course, the people at your house and all the people that are watching your Bat Mitzvah. So we're going to hear you chant Torah in just a second. I want to tell everybody who has a Siddur that you can download from the Central Reform Congregation website. The Torah passage for this week is on page 18, and the English translation is 19. We're getting towards the end of the book of Deuteronomy, since we're coming to the end of the year, Hebrew year 5780. So you're helping us kind of come to a close in this year of Torah chanting and reading and understanding. And we're gonna have a 3 aliyahs, and it's gonna be kind of a hybrid. That's kind of a word we're using a lot during the quarantine, right? A hybrid of video blessings and live blessings. So the first aliyah is going to be, for the blessing before, is going to be, part of it's going to be a video featuring your Aunt Elisa and your Uncle John. And then the second part of the blessing before are going to be at live. Your grandpa and grandma, Bondad and grandma, and your great-grandma will come up again, mom. So I'm going to call all of those people up to the Torah, and then you will start your chanting. Ya'amdu, Chaya Devora, Vidjan, V'Hanan ben Avram Shaya, V'Etza, V'Malka bat Avram, Aliyah Rishonah. Here's the video.
John.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach, Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
המצווה הזאת אשר אנוכי מצווך היום, לא נבלעי ממך ולא רחוקה היא, לא בשמיים היא, לאמור מי יעלה לנו השמיימה ויקחיה לנו וישמענו אותה ונעשנו, ולא מעבר לים אביו לאמור מי יעלה לנו אל עבר הים יתאחר לנו וישמינו אותה ונעשנו.
Beautiful job. And now the blessing after, all the way from Herzliya, Israel.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה.
Beautiful. Wow. Wow. All of Israeli accents all together, huh? You guys did a great job. Thank you, Bon Dad. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, family from Israel. You guys can have a seat. Wow. That was quite an aliyah, Noah, right? It was something. The second aliyah is your nuclear family, the inner circle of your family. So it's obviously your dad and your mom and your brother Itai. So I'm going to have them come up live and in person and go over there by Noah. I want to say, I've known your family a long time. I love them very much. We're kind of neighbors from, not too far from each other. I have to say it, because I think about it all the time when I'm with your family. Itai, who had a bar mitzvah, as Rabbi Karen said a couple years ago, when you were in kindergarten, right, at Flynn Park in University City, my son Gabe was a 5th grader, and he was your peer pal, right?
Pen
Peer pal.
There was letters. Oh,
all right. Okay. Well, so the point is that I've known you at least since you were in kindergarten, and Gabe remembers you really fondly, and he sends mazel tov to your family and especially to your sister. And I just wanted to make sure I said that. Now I'm going to call you guys using your Hebrew names, which are actually pretty much your everyday names too, which is kind of handy and useful. And you'll do the blessing before, and then Noah, you will chant your second aliyah. Ya'amdu Yehuda ben Arnon v'Levana v'Sara bat Hanan v'Etza v'itai ben Yehuda v'Sara aliyah l'Torah sheni.
Baruch et Adonai Hamborach, Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. כי קרוב אליך עדך מאוד, בפיך בלבבך לעשותו. ראה נתתי לפניך היום את החיים ואת הטוב ואת המוות ואת הרע, אשר אנוכי מצווך היום לאהבה את אדוני אלוהיך, ללכת בדבריך ולשמור מצוותיו וחוקותיו ומשפטיו, וחיית ורבית וברכך אדוני אלוהיך בארץ אשר אתה שמה לרשת.
Beautiful, beautiful chanting. And now your family will do the blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Yasher koach, everybody. So now it's about to call Noah to the Torah. So let's have Itai, what you could watch from your seat, and I'm going to have your mom and dad, Yuda and Sarah, stay up there with their daughter, with you, Noah, because though you've been our Torah chanter all along and doing an incredible job, really beautiful, this is the moment that makes you a bat mitzvah, technically, when you are called for your very first aliyah to say the blessings accompanied by your beautiful Torah chanting. So it's my honor as one of your rabbis to call you to the Torah at this special time, this Labor Day, this day, getting us closer to the new year and the Jewish calendar, this day that you become Bat Mitzvah, using your Hebrew name, your full Hebrew name of Noah Rachel. I know a name that is resonant with your ancestors, and also your Hebrew name, like everyone's Hebrew name, carries the names of your parents. So in your Hebrew name are your mom and your dad, which I think is just a lovely way to kind of identify yourself. You are fully Noah. You are a unique individual, but you also come from a wonderful family, and the name suggests that. And so Noah, as your 7th grade year starts and you become a Bat Mitzvah, I'm going to call you to the Torah in this holy moment. Ta'amod Noah Rachel Bat Yehuda v'Sara Aliyah l'Torah Bat HaMitzvah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hambarach, Baruch Adonai hambarach le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'omim, v'natan lanu et torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. ואם יפנה לבך ולא תשמע, ונידחת והשתחווית לאלוהים אחרים, ועבדתם. הגעתם לכם היום, יבואו תביטו ותאריכו ימים על העבודה אשר אתה עובר את הירדן, לבוא שמה לרשתה. מה ידעתי בכם היום, את השמיים ואת הארץ, החיים והמוות, נתתי לפניך הברכה והקללה, ובחרת בחיי, נועדתי חיי אתה בזרעך.
And the blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Receive a little mazel from your parents and nachas. That's what I'm talking about. Wonderful, Noah. Wonderful job. Really, I want to say a few things as we kind of move on to the next parts of the service, though. Before you put the Torah away, I want to recognize your tutor, Toby. And just so you know, Noah, Toby wrote me just 2 days ago saying, how do I get on to Noah's Bat Mitzvah? She wants to be there, and I know she's there watching you now. And so I know she's very proud of you, as she should be. And I know that's a wonderful relationship. You've probably known Toby for a long time, haven't you, Noah? She was your Hebrew school teacher, and then she became your Bat Mitzvah teacher. The other thing is, and I think I'm right about this, I did this the other day too, there were so many moving parts of the Aliyahs. I think I forgot to call the Herzliya family to the Torah, which they did their blessing, but I know they're watching. So that was Arnon and Livana and Ayal, your uncle, and Erich, your aunt, and Asaf and Hadar, your cousins. I want to make sure that they were properly called to the Torah. Now you can put that Torah away with your parents' help, with those beautiful words of Torah in our hearts and minds and souls. We want to make sure that we use this also as an opportunity for healing, healing prayers for the people that we love, who could use healing of mind, body, spirit, healing for people we don't know who are suffering and vulnerable, and of course, in this time of pandemic, healing for everyone who's affected by the coronavirus, by COVID. We hope that there is healing in places near and far, healing prayers to Israel and healing prayers to all the places that need more light, more love, and more healing. So our healing prayer, Misha Berach, is on page 20, and open our hearts.
Misha Berach. refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaOlim.
Amen. Amen. For healing. So now, Noah, as you know, every Torah portion has an accompanying Haftorah portion, a selection from the books of the prophets, and the Haftorah for this week, for this Torah portion, or actually these Torah portions, which I think you'll explain that as well, is from the book of Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah. So Noah is going to chant the blessing on page 21. She's going to chant the actual Haftorah, and then the blessing after on 22. And then right away, Noah, you'll take a deep breath, and you will give us your Devar Torah, a commentary, words that are inspired by the Torah, but then you take them to places that are that you want them to go, right? You figure out what this means to you and what you want it to mean to us. And so all of that's going to happen starting now.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nbi'im tovim v'ratzah b'divreihem ha'ne'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'b'nbi'ei hanet v'tzedek. So sasis ba'Adonai dagel nafshi b'Elohai ki yilishani b'gdei esha ve'il tzedaka ye'atani kechatan yichyein be'er v'chakala tzadech eleha. Ki ha'aretz totzi tzimcha u'chegana v'recha tatzmiach kein Adonai Elohim yatzmiach baka u'tila neged kol ha'goyim למען ציון לא אחשב ולמען ירושלים לא אשקוט עד יצא חנוג הצדקה וישועתה כלפיד ורב גויים צדקה ומלאכים כבודך וכל הלך שם חדש אשר Adonai Yikabelu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shekol ha'olam tzaddik v'chol ha'adon ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer v'oseh ha'mdaber u'mkayem shekol devarav v'mefaseh Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'be'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh שנתת לנו Adonai Eloheinu לקדושה ולמנוחה לכבוד ולתפארת על הכל Adonai Eloheinu ואנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך בכל שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד Baruch atah Adonai mechadesh ha'shabbat.
Our portion is in the last book of Torah, Deuteronomy. This week is a special week. It's a double portion, meaning I was able to choose between two portions. I chose Nitzavim because the ideas in it really spoke out to me. It all started with me inviting everyone to listen to this speech. This speech is my portion. He talks about inviting everyone, men, women, children, no matter the class, to listen. He knows he is about to die, and if you read the direct translation, you can hear how desperate he sounded. He was told that he won't go to the promised land with the people. Moses wanted everyone to listen. The first comment made is that he knew some people were straying from God. He says that God will never forgive them and that they will be punished severely. But if you are devoted to God with all your heart and all your soul, you will be gifted riches greater than your ancestors. Your foes will be punished and you rewarded. We all know that Moses was the leader of the Jews, who led them out of Egypt and to God. I want to focus on that. He was showing them multiple different kinds of leadership, promises prosperity, such as wealth and children. He was also threatening them. He was telling them that if they didn't follow God with all their heart and all their soul, they would be punished. This led me to think, what is the best way to lead and what makes a good leader? Leaders, thousands of years later, are still using different kinds of leadership. I promise you to be rewarded for your good. I will punish you for your bad. Sometimes a mix of both, promises and punishments. If you think about a leader who uses promises of prosperity, the first thing that comes to my mind is my third grade teacher, Miss Bruns. Every Friday, if we had been good that week and didn't get 3 strikes, we would each get a piece of candy. 2 if we did extra good. I loved this at the time because, well, I was 8, and candy. Now that I think back on it, she was using positive reinforcement for us being good. This encouraged us to behave well during class, which carried over to home. She was an amazing teacher, and I remember how she encouraged me when I was struggling with my multiplication tables. She didn't do anything negative when I didn't get it. She just was positive with me when I did, such as compliments and every once in a while, candy. She had an amazing class and made me feel very welcome when I was new to ladies. I am very thankful to her. She was able to tame a very loud class of 8-year-olds, which I think is proof that she was a very good leader. Now, when I think of a leader who uses punishment, the first person that comes to my mind is a fictional character, Lord Voldemort from the Harry Potter books. He used fear and pain as a tool to gain power and rule over everyone. He was a leader. He was able to recruit hundreds, if not thousands, of people. But he didn't do it by being nice, letting them choose when to support him a lot. No, either join him or die. Believe it or not, this was very persuasive. This one quote stands out to me to prove just what kind of leader he was. This is in the graveyard where Voldemort had just come back in the Goblet of Fire. He summoned his followers using the Dark Knot. The ones who showed up tried to plead that they were loyal to him. Wormtail says, I returned, and Voldemort responded out of fear, not loyalty. This just shows that leading with fear can work. Punishing those who don't follow your lead can work. Does this mean that this is the best way to lead? Absolutely not. Nothing is black and white. Miss Bruns gave kids a timeout every once in a while. Voldemort gave Wormtail a hand back that was stronger than the one before. In this portion, it also talks about how your enemies will be punished if you are fully devoted. What if your enemies are fully devoted as well? Who decides who's on the right and wrong side of that quotient? Those people in this situation have done wrong, or else they wouldn't be enemies in the first place. No one is 100% innocent, and there is no good and evil. Voldemort was trying to save wizardkind, but the way he did it wasn't very good. But his intentions, at least to him and a few others, were. Here's what I think. In general, leading with positive reinforcement is the better way to lead. In general, if you promise good for good, it will work. But there are circumstances where you do need to punish. This could be as simple as giving everyone else rewards but not them, or sitting them out. Back to the portion, the text says that if you're not devoted with all your heart and all your soul, you will get the full wrath of God. If you are devoted with all your heart and all your soul, you will get rewarded. Now, as I see it, Moses was successful in his leadership. He was a mixture of both, which seemed to work well. The people made it to the promised land, and we are still here to this day. We are together, and we stand strong. Promises and punishments. It's not black or white. It's not like good or evil. Different things work for different people. I feel to make a good leader, you need to be able to recognize when each is needed. You need to be able to know when you yourself should be rewarded or punished as well. This is what constructs the best leaders that we know today.
Wow. Wow, Noah. Thank you. Thank you for that teaching. How you feel?
Good.
How you feel? Good, good. I'm glad. The Torah of Harry Potter, right? Like, really has added to our understanding of all of these paradigms and archetypes. And so I love that you brought in the Torah of Harry Potter along with the Torah of Moses and the Torah of leadership, right? A great teaching, and you really picked up on this really early on about these different kinds of leadership and really struggling what's the most effective type of leadership. So the passage you read from actually in many communities and many Machzor high holiday prayer books, we come back to this portion again on the high holidays, and there's a reason for that. You said, there's this speech that's going on and everybody's gathered to hear it, right? And guess what that feels like? That feels like the days of awe when everyone comes, like even if they haven't been to synagogue for the whole year, they come back. It's because it feels like it's a moment that we can really sort of make a difference. And so it says in your Torah portion, you read it right from the Torah. It says there's this mitzvah, right? It uses that word. You said it. This mitzvah that is just really close to you. It's on your lips. It should be on your lips all the time, and it's in your heart. It's not far from you. Now, we don't know exactly what that mitzvah is they're talking about. They're kind of nebulous about it. But you know what some of the commentators say, Noah? They say it's teshuvah, right? Which we know we talk about all the time at the high holidays. Teshuvah means self-improvement, that we could be better people. When we put our minds and hearts to it, we can correct our errors and say nicer, kinder things and do more mitzvahs. And so that to me is about, kind of goes along with your Torah of leadership. Leaders who do tshuva, who examine themselves, whether they're Jewish or not, that examine themselves, that decide where they've gone wrong and resolve to do better. That is tshuva. And we need leaders, right, who don't always just go forward and say, I'm right, and everybody else is wrong, right? That mitzvah of teshuvah is part of being a leader who can know when to do positive reinforcement and when you need a little bit of difficult consequences so that people can live their best lives. You gave us this teaching, and you reminded us through your Torah of what it takes to be a good leader. And Noah, you're going to be a great leader. I knew you played water polo. I wasn't sure, but your singing voice is amazing. Do you also sing?
No, not anymore. I used to.
You did, didn't? Yeah. Were you? Yeah. So really lovely. Maybe you want to try that again because your chanting really was lovely. You can read from the Torah, and there's still the words of Torah, but when you sing them, it beautifies the mitzvah, and you did that for us during your bat mitzvah. And I'm really excited, Noah. You're going to be part of our 7th grade class, right? Say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. And we're going to do mitzvahs all year. We're going to figure out a way. Some of them we'll do virtually, and some of them we'll figure out a safe way to do in person. It's going to be a different kind of a year, like it is for everybody in all things. But we're going to have a 7th grade class, a mitzvah class that I know is going to make a difference. And you are going to be part of that. And I'm really looking forward to that. So I want to sing a blessing for you. I want you to hold inside everything that this moment means to you. You became a bat mitzvah in your own home. You're going to be part of history, Noah. All of these bat mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs that happened during this pandemic time, I'm telling you, you're going to be in the history books. Nothing has ever been like this. And, it's a unique period of time. I hope and pray we get back to normal soon. But this will be something that we always look back on, and you're part of it. And you're a bat mitzvah. Whether it was online or not, you did everything we asked you to do, everything the tradition asked you to do. So mazel tov, and here's your blessing. Oh, where'd you go? There you go.
Go.
Our cat attacked.
Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen. You got alarms sounding for you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. The Holy One, whose presence fills creation, for giving us our life, for keeping us alive, and for bringing us all to this holy moment, Noah Rachel, when you became a bat mitzvah, a daughter of this tradition, who I know will bring all that's meaningful to you about Judaism into your life as a teenager and then a young adult. And let us say, Amen. Amen. Can you hear me, Noah?
Yeah.
Can you hear the siren? It's just a drill every Monday. Is it over by your house too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to. It'll end soon. But we do have another blessing for you, and we have gifts for you from CRC, and a wonderful member of our board of directors, whose name is Guan Jameson, recorded a video with some words to you and a presentation for you on behalf of your synagogue, Central Reform. Here's Guan.
Good morning, Noah. My name is Guan Jameson. Again, I'm a board member here at CRC, Central Reform Congregation. It's my honor to present to you the board gifts this morning. Congratulations on becoming a Bat Mitzvah. I hope this ceremony is everything you want it to be. We look forward to you growing in your spiritual life as well as your personal life. I'm holding here. You'll see this. 2 trees have been planted in your honor, Bat Mitzvah. 1 tree will be planted in the Jewish section, and another tree will be planted in the Arab section. Hopefully, these trees will grow strong and tall as we hope you do, and that what we do now will be a benefit to people down the line, generations to come, as these trees grow and as you grow. Also, we have a tzedakah box or jar for you as well. Please fill it with any and everything, all your contributions, and in the future when your tzedakah box is full, bless someone or some organization that is in need. And again, thank you. I'm glad I got to hear some of your chanting. I'm glad I was able to listen to your commentary as well in the day of your Bat Mitzvah. And again, I am very honored to be presenting this to you, and I wish you all the best.
And now your parents, they actually have those gifts that Guan was talking about. There's this. I see the certificate on the bottom of the podium. There you go. It has your name on it. And it says about the 2 trees in Israel, in a Jewish neighborhood and an Arab neighborhood. And then the tzedakah jar, is that around, or did you guys tuck it away somewhere? It's okay. Tucked it away. But I know, that's okay. And I know you'll use it for sure. And so, Mazel Tov, Noah. Really beautiful job. Although you have completed all of the things we've asked you to do, lead the service and chant Torah and Haftorah and give a commentary, we've got a little bit more of the service to go before we conclude and you guys celebrate with each other. I want to here, first of all, I guess I want to tell everyone that's watching that anyone actually, CRC members or not, then we have obviously next Shabbat, but after Shabbat's over, next Saturday night is Slichot already. The Saturday night before Rosh Hashanah is a special late night service called Slichot, and it will be at 10 p.m. right where you're watching the Bat Mitzvah on Facebook and on YouTube. You can tune in to Slichot, and we'll have music from our choir, courtesy of video and messages and prayers from our rabbis. So everyone is welcome to tune in to that special late night service this coming Saturday night at 10, and then Rosh Hashanah starts the Friday after that. So a week from this Friday, our Erev Rosh Hashanah service is at 7:30, and our Rosh Hashanah daytime service on Saturday is at 10 o'clock. So you can check the Central Reform Congregation website for more information about the high holidays, but I wanted to make sure anyone that was watching and interested knows all about it. So Noah, we are going to conclude the service, but before we do, we always make sure we remember people who have passed away. We honor them, and we say some of their names. And so I know on page 28, you have some remembrances on behalf of you and your wonderful family.
Although I never met her, I would like to remember my cousin Andrew partners, Aaron Gary, who died unexpectedly several months ago. I would like to remember my family members who have died in my lifetime. My great-grandmother Louise Bastine, my great-grandmother Rachel Ben-Basat, and my great-aunt Sylvia Selly and Lee Hartz, and my grandfather's first cousin Ben Hartz. I would also like to remember my great-grandparents that I was not able to meet. Alvin Hartz, William Bastine, Oscar Ben-Basat, Sarah Ben-Shahar, and Amir Ben-Shahar.
We remember them all, and I'm so sorry for the recent loss of Aaron. May their memory be a blessing. No, I'm going to add just a few names to that list, just people that we're thinking about in our congregation, some recent deaths. We're remembering Mel Brown, who was Andy Brown's father, just passed away. We're remembering Donna Levitz, who was my aunt in Chicago, who passed away a few days ago. We're remembering Andrew Davis and Stan Zerman and Jerry Brown and Rich Amacher and Caroline Harvath, Jerome Schneider, and we're remembering CRC members who've died this past year, including Fran Hyman and Gil Nussbaum and John Kepler and Claire Hyman and Tom Trieger and Suzanne Glazer. May all of their memories be a blessing. I'm going to stand up now in my house to honor all of those that we're thinking of, and all together on page 28. And also, if any of you at home have a name that you'd like to remember, I know Bobby Frauenglass is watching this Bat Mitzvah, and he's remembering his mother on her yard site. May her memory be a blessing. But if you have a name at home, feel free to say it out loud so that all those names we can be thinking about for a blessing. And so here we go on page 26 for the Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yit Kadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah ve'almad yibrak kirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael b'agalau v'zman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam omei almaya yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yitchomam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal Shemei dekudesha b'richu ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei Shlam Rabbah min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. Ya'aseh shalom shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be a blessing. Amen. Amen. All right, Noah. So this is the time that I know you've been waiting for, where your mom and dad get to come up and speak to you, their words and their blessings, and express their pride and love for you. So here are your mom and your dad.
Okay. You're a teenager. So I thought a lot about what to say. You know, I always have a lot to say. But Ima said I can't talk. I have to talk 10 minutes, which really. So, you probably know that we used to call you Little Buddha. and the reason why we called you Little Buddha is because you had this little cute belly and you would just sit where we put you. and it was really kind of nice to have a kid that just stays where you put them. and we only later realized that it's really, it's all relative, right? For 3 years before we had to chase Itai, and now we had a kid that just sat there and looked around and smiled, and it was not as tiring. But well, I mean, you're not a little Buddha anymore, but you're still my little Buddha, and I'm really, really proud to be here. your father. And I mean, you're such a curious, beautiful, and smart kid who really makes me proud. And the way you are with, so emotionally and physically strong. You're such a loyal friend and supportive of all those that you care about, and you always sort of seem to really care about what's important. And that's, I think, a really nice trait for somebody this early. So, although I probably will never stop worrying about you, and I'm probably going to be like this forever, I know you. I love you.
So, as your father said, we weren't sure that we would be able to handle a second child. But fortunately, once you were born, Itai took you over to announce that you were his baby. And you immediately started raising yourself. So it worked out well for us and for you, because I think if Itai hadn't tired us out so much, we would have tried to control you more, and you would have left home for college at age 4. But it's been amazing to watch you grow up. You're strong, intelligent, compassionate, self-driven, everything you need to have a fulfilling and meaningful life. I hope that you're you to teach Olam, working on repairing the world, because there sure is a lot to do.
Amen. All right, Yuda and Sarah, stay up there. Itai, join your family.
All right.
All right. So a few things, or actually, we won't do Kiddush because it's not Shabbat, but certainly this was very sweet, and a sweet, holy moment. But we will do Motzi, and I know that you had a special delivery this morning at around 9 o'clock. Judy Glazer, a wonderful member of CRC, baked you guys a challah so you can have a festive meal. I wish we could all be there with you to enjoy that challah, but it's all your guys. Thank you, Itai. Nice job. Go ahead. You can do that. Here, yeah. So hold up that challah, and I will make the blessing, and then you guys can share a little of it, and I'm sure there'll be enough for everyone else in your house afterwards. And so for all that we have to share with each other, mind, body, and spirit. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Amen. Go ahead, Noah first. You did all the work. Noah, Yuda, Itai, Sarah have the celebration challah. Judy is famous for her chalot. Pretty good, huh? All right, you can put that down. And now, how about putting your arms over each other after you finish eating or whatever? And over Noah, our newest bat mitzvah, we're going to have a celebration when we're able to come back to CRC and we're able to be in person and it's safe. We're going to have all of the young people, including you, Noah, who had their bar and bat mitzvahs during this time. We're going to have you up on the bima so the whole congregation can celebrate you, because you did an awesome job. And you see Rabbi Susan and Rabbi Daniel on the screen, and we are here with your family to offer you blessings that you richly deserve. So mazel tov, and we put our arms over you through the interweb, and we say, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you always.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'choneka. May the light that you have shared with us today come back 1,000-fold, so that you can continue to share your brilliance with all the people whose lives you meet.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And most of all, may you have a life filled with peace and with love and with wholeness, and may the whole world be a little more peaceful and a little more whole because of you and because of your amazing family. Mazal tov.
Mazel tov, and celebrate. Semen tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, semen tov, semen tovu, mazel tovu, and semen tov, mazel tovu, and semen tov. Yehelanu, 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 Uvamcha Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu. Uvamcha Yisrael. Semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov, mazel tov, and semen tov. Yehelanu. Love you guys. Take care. We'll see you soon.
Bye. Thank you.
Great job, Noah. Great job.
Thank you.